to the T-Bird podcast. This is the T-Bird. Twitter handle on Twitter is at the real T-Bird HEX. Coming to you on the 20th of March, 2025. And it's a beautiful 11/8 day. So it is it's a beautiful energy to be flexing my throat chakra and getting vocal and doing my part in educating, informing, possibly even entertaining a bit as well. So I'm going to wait just a tiny bit just to see if there's anyone that's going to be rolling in. I'm just going to check the comments for a sec. And all right, so this episode is the numerology of HEX, which is what I want the subject to be focused on for this episode. See Hex Monkey up in here. Good to see you, man. OG of OGs. Thank you for stopping by. So what I want to talk about, which I think is definitely very relevant, because when it comes to vibrational energy, it doesn't just apply to people and places. It also applies to things. It applies to something like a cryptocurrency. And so the energy imprint of a cryptocurrency is based on its birthday. On the launch day is its birthday. So the launch of HEX on Ethereum, in case you don't know, if you're tuning in, is December the 2nd, 2019. So the energy imprint of that day is a really rock solid energy imprint for a cryptocurrency, because its primary energy is 8 from 17. So it's 17, 1 plus 7 is 8. So when you reduce the numbers, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 9, add it all together equals 8. So 8 is the number of money, the number of power, and the number of karma. But primarily in the context of cryptocurrency, it's excellent that it has that primary energy imprint of money and power, because ultimately when it comes to crypto, which is in the realm of finance, it's ultimately about empowering the crypto with that force of money and power energy. But the really cool thing though is that after 8 being the primary prevailing energy, the secondary energy is 2, because it's on the 2nd, and 2 is the energy of peace and diplomacy. So when you combine money and power with diplomacy, what you get is, well, the combination of it. When you have to look at not energies in isolation, you look at the components in synergy with each other. And when you synergize the 8 and the 2 together, it's about how do I put this? Gaining power and seizing power, but in a peaceful and diplomatic way. It's 2s are the negotiators as well, are the best negotiators, and amicably negotiating in the context of power, in the context of deals and power plays. So when you apply that understanding and knowledge in the context of the 2 prevailing energies for HEX, it's really beautiful. Also, something that's noteworthy in its totality of its energy is it's also going to be definitely going to have a strong focal point on energy. On family. And as we all know, if you've been in crypto long enough, you'll understand that community is what without a strong community backing the cryptocurrency, the crypto is just not sustainable, and it will fade over time, whether it's in the long term or the short term or mid-term. It's just it's not going to hold up, and ultimately the long-term sustainability and viability of any crypto is dependent on the community. So with that in mind, having that kind of energy also interwoven into the tapestry that is Hex on Ethereum, it's really rock solid to have that energy in there as well. And it also has some freedom, has freedom and change instilled in the energy of the day as well, which is also solid. And not just slightly, like very strongly, with that exuding the energy of freedom, change. How else do I put it? About movement as well. So yeah. So when you're meditating on the energy of Hex itself, it really is a really nice, a very, very positive energy to be to have launched on. And I can very, very safely speculate that Richard Hart, this is a point that I want to drive home as well, is there is no accident that not only has Richard Hart, the founder of Hex and PulseChain, specifically chose the 8-2 day from a numerological standpoint, but it's also potent and very noteworthy that he launched it in the pig energy, in the pig year, which is 2019, because he himself, his own individual energy is goat, because he's born in 1979 in the goat year, and goat and pig are friend energy signs. So by imprinting his first cryptocurrency in friendly energy, in positive energy, with his own individual energy, as being born in 1979 in the goat, he's definitely done himself a lot of favors in the context of the energy being having positive karmic consequences for the future of his cryptocurrency and the community that stands behind it. So now, with all that in mind, I also want to make mention of Hex on PulseChain is different in terms of the energy imprint, because Hex on PulseChain was launched with the same energy imprint of PulseChain itself, alongside everything else that got launched at the fork of PulseChain. So I'll repeat that in a different way to make sure that's clear. So when PulseChain forked Ethereum 2.0, which was on specifically the energy imprint of the day, is May 13th, 2023. So when the fork happened and PulseChain launched, PulseChain's energy is the energy imprint of May 13th, 2023. And Hex on PulseChain has that same energy, along with every single other coin that was forked over from Ethereum onto PulseChain. So that's definitely something that people need to be, it's worthwhile thinking about and understanding how vibrational energy works with numerology and astrology in that context as well. So, so what else can we talk about? What else? So I might just go through quickly on my Twitter timeline and see if there's other. So as an example, so to give you an example of a founder like Richard Hart, who I have to suspect at least has a basic understanding and knowledge of how to apply vibrational energy, i.e. numerology and astrology, correctly to his benefit, not just his own benefit as an individual, but also to what he actually implements, for example, cryptocurrency or a business, stuff like that. An example of someone in the cryptocurrency space who did it incorrectly, like as incorrectly as you possibly could, is Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, ADA, ticker ADA. So what the big mistake that he made was he launched Cardano in the official launch of Cardano was in 2017 in the Rooster year. He himself is born in 1987, the cat year, and Rooster and cat energy are enemy signs. They're enemy energies. So by launching his chain Cardano in the Rooster year, which is his own enemy sign, enemy energy, by default, that is going to have very negative energetic consequences and karmic consequences for doing that, which is basically the exact opposite of what Richard Hart has done. Richard Hart, basically the best play that you can do as a cryptocurrency founder is to launch. Obviously, there's nuances to it, and there's certain advantages and disadvantages with regard to the specific day and the numerological aspect of the exact day of when you launch it, which goes that much more deeper than just which year, and to line it up with which year energetically in the context of Earth astrology. But at the very least, in the context of Earth astrology, so as a cryptocurrency founder, taking Richard Hart as the example, launching a cryptocurrency in either the pig energy, which is, so Richard Hart as a goat, born in the goat year, the triad with the goat is the pig and the cat. So ideally, he either needs to, for the maximum karmic advantage and positive energy advantage, he would need to launch anything that he launches would ideally need to be in the pig year, which is, well, the last pig year was in 2019, which is when he launched HEX on Ethereum. And on top of that, further confirmation to demonstrate that he has an understanding of this stuff, he waited. I think ultimately, obviously, there were lots of other factors in the context of, all the delays that came with him launching PulseChain from the crypto side and the technical side of things. But purely from the energetic side of things, it was really smart of him to wait until 2023, at least until the start of the cat year in 2023, because 2023 is the cat year, and the cat is also friend energy with his energy being the goat energy. Goat and cat are also friend signs and positively aligned. So very intelligent from Richard Hart's standpoint to wait till the cat year. So he launched his first cryptocurrency. Let's recap. First cryptocurrency, HEX on Ethereum, in the pig year, positive energy, beautiful. His second launch was PulseChain, which was in the cat year, also positive energy, direct energetic benefit and positive benefit on the side of Richard Hart as well. So not just one tick with launching HEX in the pig year, but two ticks pigging launching PulseChain in the cat year. Beautiful. So, and also the other alternative, if you're, for example, if you're Richard Hart in the goat energy, also launching something in your own energy is the maximum positive. So anything that you do in your own energy is essentially the maximum positive karma and maximum positive energy that you can harness and leverage in the context of launching something, whether it's business related, even if it's in the context of relationship, getting married in your own energy, starting a relationship in your own energy. Of course, again, there's nuances. It can depend on your personal year cycle. So you do have to take into account your personal year cycle in the context of when you start something or end something or launch something. But overall, if you at the very least get the Earth astrology / Eastern astrology correct energetically, you're already like, you've already done a good job in terms of capturing the positive energy. So I hope that makes that kind of stuff clear with regard to Hex's numerology. Now let's go a little bit into PulseChain's energy, which is a little bit different in the context of the numerology of the day of when PulseChain launched, which was May 13th, 2023. So I see some other people coming in through the chats and the comments. Great to see you all. I'll get to you shortly. Great to see you all. Thank you for supporting the stream. And I'm not going to be making the stream too long. I'll just quickly deviate by just letting people know if you're in here watching. I see there's 133 in here. I love it. Seeing the 33 and the 133. I love that. Thank you all for jumping in and tuning in. If you do want to jump in, go to my Twitter at @TheRealTBirdHex. Shoot me a DM. I'll be checking my DMs a little bit, and if you want to jump on and piggyback off this conversation in the context of numerology and astrology and how it ties in with crypto and more specifically Hex and the PulseChain / Richard Hart ecosystem, I'll shoot you the StreamYard link and you can jump in. Okay, so coming back to it. So the PulseChain energy. May 13th, 2023 is the primary energy of the PulseChain launch is 7. And 7 is the number of knowledge, the number of intelligence. It is in the context of a cryptocurrency launch. It's an interesting energy to launch a chain on, because its primary energy is about intelligence and knowledge. So what that basically translates to in the context of the energy of the PulseChain launch is basically the blockchain technology. Blockchain is in the realm of technology, and technology and intelligence and technology and knowledge are sort of like they go hand in hand. They synergize with each other, at the very least from a conceptual standpoint. They do tie in with each other really nicely. Technology, knowledge, and intelligence. And you look at like in the world of intelligence, like in the general macro side of things, intelligence is largely contingent on technology. So PulseChain as a blockchain is in the technology sector, and it's technical, and it's and it also being the prevailing energy of 7 in conjunction with being birthed in the cat year as well. So not only is it super intelligent in the context of the 7 energy, but cats are also highly intellectual, and so the 7 and the cat also sort of harmonize with each other and complement each other in the context of intelligence and technology as well, and knowledge, which is really cool, which is really interesting. Whether Richard Hart actually intended to launch it on that day for those reasons, or whether it's accidental, it's very interesting. Either way, and it's also the second most important energy of the day is the 13. So the interesting thing about the 13 is 13 is the number of the matrix. 13 is a submaster number, which basically means the master numbers in numerology are 11, 22, and 33. 33 being the highest master number, but the submaster numbers are 28 and 13 in the context of money. 28 is the number of wealth. 13 is the number of, on its own merit, is a submaster number in the context of money as well. It's also the number of the matrix, and I won't go into total in-depth detail into why that is, but just it's something to keep in mind. So it is a key number in the context of the matrix itself. But 1 plus 3 is 4. So 4 is the number of hard work, discipline, structure, and as such, having very strong 4 energy. So 4, I'll recap, 4 is the number of structure, the number of discipline, the number of hard work, and the number of law and order as well. So with that in mind, you synergize how the 4 energy coalesces with the 7 energy. So you basically have, just give me a second. One sec. So basically, when you combine the 7, the 2 dominant energies of the day, of the 7 and the 4, it's basically the way I see that and perceive that is you've got a cryptocurrency that's going to work its absolute ass off, and it's going to be harnessing the energy of intelligence and knowledge, and it's going to be working really with serious discipline and hard work in order to magnify its influence and magnify its dominance in the cryptocurrency sector, which I like a lot. And something in the context of the 4 energy, something worthy of note is the cat is the 4th sign as well. So there's a nice synergy there, being a 4-day, being on the 13th, while also the 4 energy of the cat as well, compounding the 4 energy of the day as well. So you've got the 4 energy of the cat, because cat is the 4th sign, in conjunction with the 4 energy of the day and the 7. There's a very nice interplay there. What else can I say about the totality of the energy of PulseChain? Interesting. So one other interesting part of it is that it's got the energy of it's got the kind of energy within it also, where it's going to sort of complement the 7, because the 7 energy is the 7 is the number of the loner. But when you've also got you've got strong 3 energy embedded within the day as well, it helps to sort of offset, because 3 in a lot of ways is sort of the yin and yang to the 7, because the 7 is the loner, not so good at communicating, while the 3 is the number of communication, is the communicator and the networker. So there's a nice balance also between the 7 and the 3 in the day as well. So I think that's pretty much just a general overview in the context of the energy of the PulseChain launch and the energy of the HEX launch. Now, I'll quickly just go over to the comments. I see a wild SJ is in here. Good to see you. Thank you for supporting the stream, coming through. If you want to jump on, I can send you the link. Actually, you know what? I'll grab the StreamYard link and I'll post it in the chat. And if someone wants to jump on, and anyone who's watching that wants to jump in, just hit the link and we'll see what we can do. One sec. All right, so you got to bear with me because I'm only still a few streams into doing this stuff. So, but I'm starting to get there with regard to the technicals of streaming and all that. So, okay, I've just put in the link there. So, SJ, I see you, Fast Abdul in here. Good to see you, man. Thanks for supporting the stream. Thank you also for, I see you up in Matty Allen's streams a lot. Recognize you. Who else is in here? Hex Force 1. I recognize you, man. Good to see you. Who else have we got in here? Yeah, I've seen you, Hex Monkey. Great to see you up in here as always. Cool. One sec. Hexagon 5555. Good to see you, man. Just give me a sec. Yeah, Hexagon 5555. I've just put the link in the comments. If you want to come on through and jump on for a bit and you want to chat about any of this stuff with regard to numerology, astrology, and how it ties into crypto, or if you just want to talk about crypto overall, what's going on in the HEX and PulseChain ecosystem at the moment, you're welcome to jump on. CD. Yeah, okay, maybe address the current energy in the community. Okay, so yeah, so that's sort of yeah, that's an interesting one to touch on, but a lot, believe it or not, like generally, not even just necessarily in our community specifically, but the general, like if you in the context of numerology and astrology with energy, the prevailing energy that people are going to be impacted by is the actual day. There are multiple different energies, but for example, what I'm getting at is that today is the 20th of March, 2025. So today is a 5/11 day. So the prevailing primary energy of today is 5, and 5 is the number of the entertainer. It's the number of freedom, number of change, but more in the context of me putting out the intent and of putting out this live stream and streaming, at least in part has to do with the 5 energy being the primary energy of the energy imprint of today. So going back to what you're saying about addressing the current energy in the community, that 5 energy, along with being the 20th, and 20 is the hidden 11, but it's also got the 2 energy there as well. But 20 is the combination of both the 11 and the 2, without getting into it. But yeah, so today, just having that strong 11 energy in the 20, 11 is the number of emotion and emotionality. and emotional volatility. So it doesn't surprise me at all that I'm seeing a lot of heightened emotionality and emotional volatility in the community today, especially in the context of the last couple of Richard Hart's tweets relating to PDI and all that stuff. So definitely doesn't surprise me at all. And on that note as well, doesn't surprise me that Richard Hart specifically decided whether intentional or accidental, that he actually decided to put out this specific PDI related tweet on like today because of the 11 energy. Doesn't surprise me, because when you post something that you know is going to elicit strong emotional reaction, when you launch it, when you put something like that out there on a strong 11 day, it's going to evoke that much stronger of an emotional response, an emotional reaction from what was put out, i.e. The last couple of tweets, but even more specifically the PDI related ones. So doesn't surprise me at all. With regard to what's going on with HEX and PulseChain overall, my sentiment will not change. I will not be shaken out. Of course, it's been an absolutely brutal bear cycle, but yeah, I maintain my discipline. I'm in for the long haul. I remain bullish for the rest of this year, 2025. I'm going to continue to be going very hard and really pushing this year. Really, even for me, I'm going to be pushing myself to the nth degree this year. As I've already mentioned before in the last couple of podcasts, last couple of streams, mainly because two really important reasons. The first important reason is because it's 2025 in the context of the crypto cycle. Got to get the message out, got to keep maintaining the positive vibes, got to just really push just in that context alone. It's the bull mania year. Got to leverage the algorithmic nature of the cycle itself and just harness that as much as possible. But the second and very equally important reason is because of my own specific individual energy, which I touched on when I had the stream with Coexistence Stephen. We went into a little bit of detail on that, but to rehash that stuff, because I'm born in the ox year and it's a snake year, positive energy because snake is in my triad as an ox. And there's also some numerological elements as well on top of that even further enhances the positive energy that's on my side this year specifically, at least until, at the very least, until the end of the snake year, which is February 17th, 2026 is when the snake year ends. Then we transition into the horse year, which is okay. And I have almost just as much incentive to really, really push, even like still very strongly next year as well, for certain numerological reasons, despite coming out of the snake year. So there's a very good chance that even though 2026 from the crypto standpoint is expected more or less to be a down year, if you go off historical patterns and the historical nature of how crypto cycles have always played out. And I'm personally expecting 2026 to be a very bearish year for Bitcoin, straight up, both in the context of the crypto cycle and in the context of the energies as well. So it's coming from both standpoints, not just from the crypto vantage point. So with that said, I still have certain numerological elements that are positive for me next year. So I'm still going to maybe not be as active as this year, but still remain somewhat active. Especially because the year following in 2027 is the goat year, which is my enemy sign being the ox. So I definitely have to lay low on multiple fronts in 2027, even just purely from an energetic standpoint alone, let alone other factors. So yeah, wow, we're already about 35 minutes into the stream. Let's see who else might be in here. I see you, Hexagon 5555. Thanks for tuning in, man. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, cool, man. I'll just go through some of your comments. Explain how RH knew to launch Hex right as COVID hit us, which was genius, but very interesting. Okay. All right. So in the context of there's no way anybody could have known, even RH, about the COVID crash, at least, for the most part. So yeah, it's an interesting one. So I think, I think it's more about like Richard, like knowing to launch in his friend energy, in the pig energy, in 2019. But again, there's one of the other elements that I didn't actually mention before in terms of what was in Richard's positive favor is Richard Hart's lucky number based on his birthday is 19. And he launched it in 2019. So what that basically means is whether he knew it or not, whether he actually knew that 19 is his lucky number, at least, well, we all have two lucky numbers based on our birthdays, but his primary lucky number, or whether primary is the right term for it, but 19 is definitely one of his two lucky numbers. So by launching in 2019, he matched the energetic imprint of the 2019 year itself because of the 19 that's in there, along with his own lucky number. So his enhanced luck in his favor just on that alone by launching in 2019 as well. So that was also like a boss move. I mean, the launch of Hex on Ethereum was a boss move, as I've illustrated, on this podcast. But yeah, so I appreciate your support, Hexagon Quattro Cinco, man. And it's really cool, man. I can't believe I'm seeing nearly 200 people in here. I did not expect as many as that to jump in here. So I don't want to make it too long. So I think I'll just wind it up there. I think I've pretty much overall covered the numerology of HEX. I also included an overall view of the energy of the launch of PulseChain as well. So yeah, unless, and also I'm just seeing SJ, I love cats. I love cats too. Unfortunately, they don't love me as much because of my allergies, but yeah, I won't get into that. But I do love all animals and love cats as well. So they're beautiful animals, very predatory. But yeah, cats are cool. But also people that actually imprinted with cat energy. Something really interesting too that I found is that I'm not sure why, but people that are born in cat years tend to be drawn to me in certain ways, and I don't really know why, especially because I'm ox, and I don't know. but there's definitely an interesting energetic interplay going on there. ADP, thanks for tuning in, man. Good to see you. So I'll just before winding up, the last couple of minutes, in case someone still wants to jump on the stream and get a little conversation going before winding up. I want to, obviously, definitely something that needs to be just to be covered is I just want to make sure, just in case Richard Hart hasn't tweeted anything else since the latest one. I'm just going to double check. Yeah. So there hasn't been any other tweets since then. So, but yeah, as it's just quickly, aside from the PDI related tweet, which is like massively, like it's really riling up the community, which is, it's sparking a lot of extra energy and all that stuff. And, a lot of Richard Hart's tweets are going to do that anyway. But is one of his other latest tweets about when he says apparently the SEC is dropping its appeal against Ripple. It's pretty clear, reading between the lines with that tweet, is that my personal speculation is that there's a good chance that he's telling not just us as a community, but also anyone else that's following him, is that he's not necessarily, like, when the time is right, especially like say after April 21st, when the amendment period is definitely cut off and SEC can't continue to vexatiously attack Richard Hart and the HEX PulseChain community. After that point, and naturally just being in the snake energy, and the snake is vengeful, you're going to see even people, I would generally speculate that even people that aren't snakes in the snake energy, just being under the snake energy, there's going to be that sort of being in that energy, because snakes are vengeful, they're vindictive and petty as well. So, and I would say that the snake energy would probably having some bit of effect with Richard Hart himself as well. So he's probably, especially with the amount of tax that he's had to be subjected to for so long. Now that it's nearing the end, he's basically putting out the warning that any further slander or libel is not just going to be, just swept under the rug. He's probably going to go in for the kill to make sure that certain bad actors will be held accountable for their actions, is my speculation. More so because we're in the snake energy year. But on that note, I think I'll wind it up there. Thank you all again for tuning in. Over 200 people. Anyone that's in the HEX PulseChain community, I salute you. We maintain strength. We're just coming out of the blood moon. It's been a very rough period of time. Definitely expectations. Even if you have mild expectations for the first quarter of 25, everything is still, prices are depressed, and it's, causing, obviously, having ripple effect on the crypto community at large, let alone our community. So I'm maintaining very positive going into the second quarter. The new moon starts on March 29th. So that, it's right before April, and the beginning of the first quarter is in April as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of bullish sentiment coming back in April. And I think the second quarter is going to be way better than the first quarter, my personal take. So we'll leave that there. yeah, I'll be doing another stream again pretty soon. I might have to go. Right now, I'm using StreamYard, but I'm probably going to have to look at utilizing a different platform very soon. But for now, I'm live on StreamYard. And yeah, just sending out the love, the good vibes, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.